Hello and welcome to the Business Standard Morning Show. I am Ruchika Chitravanshi. It is 5th of July 2023 and here are the top stories for the day. Will the 999 rupees JioBharat 4G phone disrupt the market? Has Ajit Pawar switched dented opposition unity? How will poor summer sales impact durable stocks? And what is National Land Monetisation Corporation? Mukesh Ambani's 2016 foray into telecom had upended dynamics of the sector. A brutal price war unleashed with the introduction of Reliance Jio had pushed carriers like Bharti Airtel, Idea Cellular and Vodafone India against the wall. Today, Jio is India's largest telco with a wireless subscriber base of about 430 million, while Airtel is a distant second with about 370 million. Vodafone Idea is struggling to stay afloat. And now, Jio has announced the launch of JioBharat, an entry-level 4G-enabled phone priced at 999 rupees. Will this new phone disrupt the market again? Bhaskar Kumar brings you the answer.
The telecom market could be staring at disruption once again. On 3rd of July, Reliance Jio launched its new 4G JioBharat phone. It is priced aggressively at 999 rupees. With this move, Jio aims to accelerate the shift of about 250 million feature phone users to internet-enabled devices. Indicating the rationale behind the new phone, Reliance Jio chairman Akash Ambani also highlighted that there are 250 million mobile phone users in India who remain trapped in the 2G era. Jio's argument is that India's feature phone users have been hit hard. First, because other telcos have increased the cost of basic voice services for a 30-day period from 99 rupees to 199. And second, because these users cannot afford smartphones. For its part, along with the phone, Jio is also offering a 30% cheaper monthly plan and 7 times more data compared to offers from other telcos. Jio is offering a plan worth 123 rupees per month for unlimited voice calls and 14 GB data. The phone will also be UPI enabled through JioPay. For entertainment, it will have Jio Cinema, Jio Savan and FM radio. The beta trial for the first 1 million JioBharat phones will start from July 7th. For their part, brokerages estimate that the JioBharat phones could disrupt the 2G market. They believe the move is broadly positive for Jio, and while Airtel will face challenges, Vodafone Idea will be hit the hardest. According to Jefferies, while the new device could drive 20 to 22 million subscriber additions for Jio, providing a 2 to 3% boost to its FY25 revenues, it may impact Airtel's revenues by 1 to 2%. Moreover, Jio's attractive postpaid and voice segment offerings come when Vodafone Idea's cash flow pressures are mounting, implying market consolidation into an effective duopoly sooner. According to JP Morgan, this step can halt tariff hike discussions in the 2G segment and help Jio gain market share. MK Research analysts also believe that the phone could further delay tariff hike discussions, creating a sharper dent in Vodafone Idea's business. Meanwhile, while pointing out that the feature phone segment accounts for 20% of Airtel's mobile revenues and 30% of Vodafone Idea's, Citi Research analysts said they did not see an immediate risk to these revenues as subscribers may not purchase the new phone right away. But it would still help Jio expand its subscriber base. So, will the JioBharat phone disrupt the telecom market?
Well, I think it will certainly be a disruptive impact that we will see. How significant that impact is will depend on a couple of things. The value of an internet product with a 2-inch screen is something that we should not overestimate. So, yes, it will impact a large number of people who are holding back on using data services because of the price of the handset will probably want to take the opportunity. but there is still a lot that this device seems not to be doing, or this device is limited in comparison to the smartphone, and therefore we should not overestimate this impact.
Actually, the transition from feature phone to smartphone has slowed down. We have also seen Jio tried to launch a low cost smartphone, Jio Phone Next, but its performance was only, I would say, modest, right? So Jio, what they are trying to do is trying to bridge that gap. They want to be the stepping stone for consumers to transition from a feature phone to a smartphone. They want to give them the taste of their services, and they are in for a longer term play, right? They will monetize more when that consumer will eventually shift to a smartphone, right? Uh, as far as disruption is concerned, the pricing obviously is very, very competitive. It's a no brainer. You have consumers from Airtel also, consumers from Vodafone also, which will and Jio will eat up their share as well.
How will Jio's competitors be affected?
Airtel and Vodafone Idea would not be thrilled by by this news. I think it'll impact them in two ways. One, if they do not have a comparable device, then clearly the cost-conscious customers would certainly be attracted to the one that Jio is offering. And also recall that Jio is further lowering the price of data services, which again is something that it took a while for the incumbents to raise to the present levels. And this will be, in a way, a step backwards when it comes to their profitability. And I would think that this would particularly worry Vodafone Idea, which is already struggling.
While Jio may be staring at another disruption in its favor, that doesn't mean there are no hurdles ahead.
The lock-in period that the Jio phone seems to come with, and as you know, that this device will be locked into the Jio network. Now, this is something that regulators often like to look into and figure out whether this is or is not an anti-competitive move. And that is something that I would not be surprised if Jio's competitors also raise with the regulator.
According to sources, the JioBharat phones will only work with a Jio SIM card. However, Jio has not indicated a lock-in period feature for the phone so far. The extent of disruption will depend on how closely the JioBharat device mimics a smartphone. Finally, if Jio eats into the 2G user pie, Vodafone Idea will have the most to lose, since it hasn't launched 5G services yet and thus could also face pressure on the premium user front.
India's political landscape cuts a somewhat similar picture. BJP has won 2 successive general elections and it still holds sway. Opposition parties, meanwhile, are trying hard to stitch an alliance to challenge Narendra Modi's juggernaut. But will they be able to do so? Just days after several opposition leaders gathered in Patna to show unity ahead of next year's general elections, there was a vertical split in a key camp. Ajit Pawar walked out of NCP and joined the Shiv Sena BJP government. So, has Ajit Pawar's switch dented the opposition unity? Ayush Mishra finds out.
A year after Bal Thackeray prodigy Eknath Shinde walked out of Shiv Sena, joined the BJP and became Chief Minister of Maharashtra, a similar rebellion rocked Sharad Pawar-led NCP this week. This time, Ajit Pawar left the NCP and took oath as Shinde's deputy. The two rebellions have dented the prospects of Maharashtra's 2 prominent regional parties. BJP, meanwhile, looks well positioned in the state now, and the ruling party is also gearing up for the upcoming general elections. Opposition parties, meanwhile, are trying to put the house in order. Congress announced on Monday that the next meeting of opposition parties will be held in Bengaluru on July 17th and 18th. The main opposition party also asserted that their resolve to defeat the BJP has been strengthened by the Mumbai operations of what it said BJP washing machine. The party also called the Patna meeting hugely successful, but it seems the Maharashtra events, which unfolded just a few days after the Patna meeting, raised a question mark over the ability of the opposition parties to pose a challenge before the ruling party in upcoming elections. So has Ajit Pawar dented opposition unity?
Ajit Pawar joining BJP, there will be certainly some impact on opposition unity because NCP has been and even today is part of Maharashtra Vikas Agadi with Congress and Shiv Sena, that is Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray faction. But the fact is, although the rebels claim that their faction is real and they claim the party, the situation is not like that. Because loyal workers always remain with the original leader. And as far as Sharad Pawar is concerned, he has got a great following. Now much depends upon how he builds out his party, addresses meetings, etc. And going by his fighting spirit, he is certain to build out his party.
For 2024 Lok Sabha polls and the opposition unity efforts, at least 4 states are very important. One is Tamil Nadu, second undivided Bihar, which would also include Jharkhand, and third Maharashtra. These are the 4 states where opposition already has some sort of unity. And minus Tamil Nadu, of the 3, BJP performed really well. For example, Maharashtra, Bihar, Jharkhand together sent 102 MPs to the Lok Sabha, and BJP and its allies had 92. Now BJP has been nervous that because opposition is already working towards some sense of unity in these 3 states, it may not be able to perform or repeat its performance of 2019. That's why this dent to the MVA in Maharashtra is significant for the opposition unity.
Sharad Pawar, a seasoned strategist who has seen a lot of ups and downs in his political career, still holds sway in several parts of Maharashtra. So will this rebellion hit Pawar's future plans? And what will be the effect of this on the plan of opposition parties?
Sharad Pawar has taken a lead in organizing meeting of the opposition. The first meeting in Patna has been hugely successful. Now next meeting has been scheduled in Bangalore, and I am certain that Pawar will not give up. He will be part of opposition and he will continue to be with other 15, 17 national level party, and he will fight back.
Sharad Pawar is widely regarded as a skilled strategist and astute politician, having wielded significant influence both locally and nationally over the course of many years. He is even seen as a potential candidate for the opposition's prime ministerial role. Under him, NCP is most likely to tide over this crisis. But will the opposition be able to unite and pose a serious challenge to BJP in the polls? Only time will tell.
It is not just political activities. The weather in Mumbai too has become intense. The weatherman has issued an orange alert for rains in the city. Meanwhile, the 2023 summer has turned out disappointing for cooling product makers as unseasonal rains soiled expectations of bumper sales. This has also been reflected at the bourses. So what should investors do now? Harshita Singh finds out in this report. Shares of consumer appliance stocks, majorly those of cooling product companies, have been in focus this year amid expectations of a searing summer. But unseasonal rains dashed hopes of bumper sales for these players, causing the stocks to come off their March highs. For instance, shares of Voltas, Symphony, Crompton Greaves and Orient Electric have shed 5 to 23% since March, compared to a 10% rise in the Sensex benchmark. Reports suggest that overall sales of summer appliances like ACs, coolers, fans and refrigerators declined 25 to 30% year-on-year during April and May in North India, which accounts for 35 to 40% of companies' overall sales. This comes against the industry's expectations of 20 to 25% sales growth this season. Analysts thus expect the companies to miss earnings estimates in the June quarter and keep the stocks under pressure. But they suggest investors should buy the stocks on dips for the long run, given India's low AC penetration, rising temperatures and disposable income.
The air cooler and air AC stocks are expected to perform weak as the unseasonal rains during the peak season and the onset of a regular monsoon has dampened sentiment for these products. As a result, we are going to see the Q1 results marginally weaker than what the street is expecting. Given this, we expect a sell-off in these stocks, and these dips that occur in the stocks should be used to accumulate these stocks for the medium to long term. Our best bet in this sector is the stock of Voltas.
Voltas and Blue Star are likely to see flat to mid-single-digit revenue growth in Q1 FY24 on an unfavorable base as per Dolat Capital. The sector's margins will expand on falling prices of commodities like steel, aluminium and copper, but will see some impact from high ad spends and trade discounts. Besides, the industry's sales are expected to see a recovery once the monsoon ends and rural sentiment revives ahead of the festive seasons, experts note.
No, I think the recovery would come at the end of the monsoon, a little bit. Otherwise, because people tend to buy a little bit of these consumer discretionary items during the festive season. So I think this time the Dussehra Diwali is about like after mid of October. So probably end of September you'll see some sort of,
Thus, while the stocks may reflect the near-term challenges, analysts suggest adding bets to the sector as the long-term prospects remain strong. Today, on July 5th, the Lal Street action will remain stock-specific as investors look forward to minutes of the US Fed's latest policy meeting.
He's making plans for an early retirement. Business Standard.
Benchmark indices continued to extend gains on Tuesday by scaling fresh all-time highs. After markets, let us now shift our focus to the government's monetization plan. The National Land Monetisation Corporation gears up to auction its first property in September. In today's Decoded segment, Vasudha Mukherjee tells us more about this firm and why we needed it.
After almost a year since its establishment, the National Land Monetisation Corporation, or NLMC, is now laying the groundwork for its first asset auction. Its purpose is to monetize the unused land and building assets of government agencies, including those under the Central Public Sector Enterprises. This means the government is identifying and exploring alternative ways to monetize its properties that currently have little to no business activities. The NLMC was conceptualized in the Union Budget 2021 to 2022 and was approved by the Union Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on March 9, 2022. After being officially incorporated in June 2022, the NLMC now functions as a Special Purpose Vehicle, or SPV, that is wholly owned by the Government of India. For funding, the corporation received an initial authorized share capital of Rs 5,000 crore and a paid-up share capital of Rs 150 crore in 2022. Many central public sector enterprises, including those undergoing disinvestment, possess non-core assets. These non-core assets include land and buildings that are in surplus and are either unused or underutilized. By monetizing these assets, the center expects to recover the costs and generate revenue that may be used for economic and social welfare projects. This may also help stimulate private sector investments, foster new economic activities, boost local economies, and even generate employment. The NLMC is responsible for owning, managing, and monetizing surplus land and building assets of public sector enterprises under closure and surplus non-core land assets of government-owned enterprises under strategic disinvestment. The corporation will guide and support other governments, including central public sector enterprises, in identifying surplus non-core assets and monetizing them efficiently to maximize their value. Later, the NLMC will become a repository of best practices in land monetization and become an advisor to the government on the implementation of asset monetization programs. NLMC comes under the Ministry of Finance with the Department of Public Enterprise, or DPE, taking on administrative responsibilities. Sanjay Jain Kumar, Joint Secretary of the DPE, was appointed as interim CEO of the NLMC when it was established in June 2022. The Board of Directors will consist of senior central government officers and domain experts to ensure professional operations and management. For specialized roles such as real estate market research, legal due diligence, master planning, investment banking, land management, and related areas, the NLMC was directed to hire professionals from the private sector.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.
Meanwhile, the posts of Chief Executive Officer, Non-Executive Chairman and consultants of NLMC have been lying vacant for a while now, and it is affecting the government's plan of land monetization. Well, that's all we have for you today. For more news and analysis, please log on to business-standard.com. Thank you for watching.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.